Welcome back to part 7.2. So now we're in the Power BI desktop app. I've gone to File, which I'm not going to show just because I've got other files I don't show. I've gone to File, Get Open Report, Browse Reports. You're then within File Explorer, open up your extracted CoE starter kit file, and you want to select the template file that is prefixed with the word Teams. Now, the little gotcha is by default, when you go to open a report, it will be an actual report and it will be looking for files of the type PBIX. So if you don't see anything, just switch up that drop down to include either all files or PBIT, because essentially what a template will allow it to do is prompt us for that org URL that we took, but then ultimately we will save it as a PBIX, if that makes sense. So here we can see we've got this far and it's now asking for that org URL. So I'm going to paste that in and I'm then going to click on load. And for the most part, this is going to do all of the heavy lifting thanks to the template. The critical bit was we gave it the environment to basically query. If it does ask you to sign in, then sign in with an account that has access to that environment, which I'm just going to do now. Type in a password. MFA. And then click connect. So it does look like we've got a few errors here, and it doesn't look as if it's too keen on the URL, although I have noticed that's got a trailing /. So I might just try this again. So I'm just going to do this again, except this time I'm going to remove the HTTPS prefix, which you did actually say in that warning, and to literally have it as the org URL. And then do load, and we'll see what happens this time. Sign again. Complete MFA again. And then click connect. So that's finished and still not squeaky clean, but it don't appear to be any fatal errors, although famous last word. So I'm going to actually leave it at that, close it up. And then the next step is, okay, we've got this local PBIX created off of the PBIT Power BI template file. We now want to publish it to the Power BI service, which is what we'll do next. And then it'll be a question of maybe a bit of time, ensuring that all the flows have run, and then basically clicking through the elements of the dashboard and just making sure that there is data behind it, and anywhere there isn't, we can troubleshoot that accordingly. So I'm just going to get rid of these for now. I'm next going to click on publish. So it does seem that until I can successfully apply the changes, I can't really save it and then publish it, short of discarding the changes, which is going to undo everything. So what I've done is I've gone into Power BI Desktop. Across the top, I am clicking on Transform Data. And then within Transform Data, I'm confirming the org URL, which I think is fine. And I'm now just clicking through each of the tables, just seeing if it's successfully bringing back data. So I've clicked on environment. I can see the 3 environments, the CoE, the personal productivity, the default one, and my developer one. I'm now clicking on apps. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to pause up here, but I'm basically going to go through each of these and we'll come back and report on any issues and what we needed to do to get to the point of applying the changes so we could then publish it. Okay, so it seems to be a case of good old Microsoft Technologies where I didn't actually really do anything, but lo and behold, it seems to be doing what I expect this time by actually pulling in the data. So what I did do, in case it made any difference, so like I said, I went into transform data, I systematically confirmed the org URL, clicked through each of the tables, confirmed that I got like either no data but no errors, or I was getting back data, did the close and apply on the transform, then did the apply changes in the banner across the top again, and this time it worked. So now we'll go ahead and publish to the Power BI service. So the first thing it's going to want to ask before you publish it is to save it locally. Now we're getting to the PBIX, not the template. So I'm just going to call this team CoE dashboard.pbix. We'll save it. And I'm now just going to do it to the default My Workspace. And then this is going to make it available to consume within the Power BI service, so in the cloud. And what we'll then do is we'll finish up in, I know this is terrible because of the way I've shared screens, but we're now going to go to part 7.3 in the next video, and we'll finish up by actually adding in that dashboard within our Center of Excellence team that we created.